Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and more on WWE 2K22's MyGM mode. As following the new trailer for the mode that dropped earlier, we now have full details on what players can expect from the mode thanks to a new episode of the Ringside Report. Before we get into that though, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest news on the game, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. So let's jump straight into the new deals coming out of the latest episode of the Ringside Report, as WWE Creative Director Lionel Jinx and Art Director Christina DM Pham were joined by fellow dev team members Alan Flores, Chris Messinas and Brian Fritz as they detailed all of MyGM's new features. As part of the reveal, the first thing that we learned was that there were 5 GMs to choose from, with these including Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon and Custom Superstars. Thanks to the Custom Superstar option, this means that players can create their own general manager or download one from community creations. Therefore, if you were disappointed to see the absence of Teddy Long, then you'll still be able to choose him thanks to the Custom Superstar option. As for the differences between the GMs, it was noted that each GM has their own unique power card, which is a special booster that you can apply when booking shows. In the examples given, it was revealed that Adam Pearce's power card is titled The Instigator, with this card increasing all rivalries by 1 level. Meanwhile, Sonya Deville's power card is labelled a Superstar GM, with this card able to raise the entire roster's morale by plus 15. Along with choosing a GM, players will also be able to select a show to run, of which there are 4 options available: Raw, Smackdown, NXT or NXT UK. Once you've selected your GM and your show, then the next challenge is to take part in a draft to put together your show's roster. When viewing the draft screen, senior designer Chris Messinas noted that the screen is filled with information to help players with their picks, such as a star's class, their popularity and their stamina. According to Chris, when picking your roster, it's important to take note of a superstar's class, as it's a good practice to obtain a mix of superstars from different classes, as pitting classes against each other can lead to better matches. To help players out in this regard, the top section of the screen will give a brief lowdown of the selected superstar, along with the class of the star that they work best with. Therefore, if you want to put on the best possible matches, it's important to take note of these hints. When drafting superstars, players will also get recommendations on who to draft based on who's already been drafted and who is left to be picked. Along with drafting top stars that people like, it's also a good practice to draft stars that'll match up well with those stars, as pitting 2 top stars against each other won't always work out in your favour if the classes don't mix. Along with drafting regular superstars, players can also opt to draft custom superstars by selecting them to appear in the draft pool, with all custom superstars given a generated cost. Meanwhile, the most important thing to take note of when drafting stars is your budget, so you will want to be careful of how much each star costs, as burning through your budget during the draft will mean that you won't have the money required to put on special match types like Hell in a Cell or TLC, as these match types cost a lot more. If you do find yourself running out of budget and you're unable to afford special matches, then you will be limited to booking standard one-on-one or tag team matches, as these matches are free to book. You'll also want to keep some money free in case you want to bring in some new talent, as the Manage Roster section allows players to sign free agents to expand their roster, as well as the ability to contract legends to give their shows a boost with star power. In terms of show length, while most shows will see players able to book a total of 3 matches and 2 promos, WrestleMania is one exception to this, as the WrestleMania card features an expanded match card where players can book up to 5 matches and 4 promos. Not only will players have to watch their budget in regards to signing stars and booking matches, but they'll also have to keep some money back to improve other elements of their show, such as the options that are listed in show logistics. In this section, players can save money by booking a show to take place in a small arena such as a high school gym, or they can use their money to hold a show in a larger arena like the Dance Club from 2K20 or NXT's Capital Wrestling Center, all the way up to larger arenas like those seen on TV. Running shows in larger arenas also come with benefits, as the bigger arenas reward the player with show bonuses and additional goals that lead to rewards. Switching over to the Power Card store, design director Alan Flores notes that these cards can be used to boost your show's rating, your morale, or even a star's stamina. One example given was that of the Health Spa cards, as applying these cards to an injured superstar will allow them to have a week's rest, which in turn will boost their stamina. Another thing to keep an eye on are the Commissioner goals, which are offered up by Triple H, as completing these goals will again reward the player with unique power cards. To give an example of one such goal, in this footage we see Triple H request not to use Nia Jax this week, therefore if we follow his advice and we give Nia the night off, then we'll complete this goal and be rewarded with a new power card that helps the superstar when injured. Alternately, should you not take the advice to rest stars and instead continue to book them in the hardest matches, then this will see superstars react and complain that they're tired or injured. At this point, if you ignore them and you continue to book them in matches, then they may suffer an injury which will not only lower their morale, but you may even force them to quit and switch to a rival show. Moving on to the match options, players can opt to play, simulate or spectate matches on the card. If they choose to spectate, then this will see the GM make their way down to ringside where they'll be able to get involved in the action. This also gives the player access to WWE style production options where they can cycle through a series of camera angles to view the show from a certain perspective, with these angles including new far out views as well as this top down camera, which is perfect for ladder matches. In this footage showing off examples of the camera options, we also get confirmation that the ladder minigame remains the same as it has been in recent games, as we see the same minigame used to unhook the briefcase, in which players have to move the red ball into the centre circle. Taking a look at the post-match screen, this screen contains a match report that details how the match went down, with the report also going on to give players advice about the classes of each superstar and how well they combined. Also included on this screen is the addition of a social media feed, with this feed containing fan feedback that provides useful hints and tips, such as fans wanting to see more popular stars compete in the main event. Meanwhile, taking a look at the breakdown screen, this breaks down the show and it details how the show has affected your viewership and your revenue, along with show notes that contain feedback from both WWE superstars and fans, which provide the player with extra hints about how they should book future matches, as well as alerting them to new stars signing with a particular brand. Sharing more information on the multiplayer side of things, it was revealed that whilst the game does support local co-op with a second controller, if you want to play online against a friend, then this would have to be done by making use of Steam's Remote Play or PlayStation's Share Play options, which allow players to invite a friend to their session, as inviting players via MyGM itself doesn't appear to be supported. Going on to share more information surrounding pay-per-view events, it was announced that pay-per-views occur every 5 weeks, with some of the pay-per-views players can expect to see, including WrestleMania Backlash and Extreme Rules, with the mode always ending at WrestleMania. Another feature showing off is a new feature known as Dramas, as these are interactions that allow the player to interact with Triple H or superstars on the roster. These interactions allow the player to reply to an individual using multiple choice answers to either agree with what's being said or offered, or to decline it. These dramas fit in with the earlier mention of stars noting that they're tired and in need of a rest, as players will be able to respond to stars and accept or deny their requests, with decisions here then affecting a superstar's happiness and their morale. Aside from interacting with superstars, you'll also have the ability to interact with Triple H, who oversees the mode, as Triple H will advise you if you're doing something poorly and let you know what you can do better. As for other things that were mentioned in the report, Jinx hinted that enhancement talent such as Silence, who was shown off in the match report footage, will also be available, therefore it appears that players can book these custom enhancement stars so that they can then job to the bigger stars. Switching over to gameplay footage, whilst the majority of the footage contained in the report showcases MyGM, we also have a great preview of Charlotte's entrance, with this footage showing off a big improvement to her model, as well as a big improvement to cloth simulation, as the way her robe moves as she walks looks much more natural than it has in past games. So that's all of the new details, including the additional footage that was contained in the new Ringside Report, with this giving us a full rundown of everything that we can expect within MyGM. So let me know what you make of all the new info. Are you excited to try MyGM? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you're not already, please do hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos, as I've got a lot more details coming very soon. Until then though, thank you so much for watching, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.